Hey, it's Devin, and this is Youngbloods. What is going on, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well, having fun, hanging out, doing your thing. Always been a good day. Hope everybody's just having a fabulous day. Yes, I said fabulous. Fabulous is a great word, and I think that people need to not overthink words sometimes, and they need to just acknowledge that, sometimes fabulous is the proper word anyone and everyone should always use at some point in their life. And I think I'm at that point in my life right now where I can say the word fabulous. Fabulous is always a good thing. So yeah, what's going on, my friend? Glad you're here. So just had an issue in the house, as everybody always has. There's always an issue somewhere, somehow, something going on. Always an issue. The cool thing is with this issue is my daughter. She tends to live in this fantasy world to think that my wife and I, we do not do anything. We do not hang out. We don't, if you know what I mean. There's no bedroom stuff when it comes to my wife and I. Apparently, that is what my daughter has thought. So my wife is in the shower, and my daughter decided that she wanted to talk to my wife. So she opens up the bathroom door, and she's talking to my wife. And while she's in there talking to my wife, I'm here going, well, I'm going to go see what they're doing. So I go in there, and I start talking to my wife and my daughter and figuring out what's up. And, just a normal routine. So that being said, the conversation was dying down, and me being me, I'm like, hey, this is my wife. So my daughter's behind me. She didn't see anything, but I decided to go over to the curtain where she couldn't see through the shower curtain, is one of those. And so I pulled the top back, like so, like this. Sounds good. And then I pulled it back, and when I pulled it back, I could see my wife. And my daughter's like, ew. This is my 19-year-old daughter. She goes, that is disgusting. You guys, I have to understand that, yes, you guys have done things at least 5 times in your life because you have 5 kids, but there's nothing else that ever has happened. I'm like, you're in a dream world, my dear. I said, because I can tell you we have a very healthy, happy relationship. So she's a little grossed out. And so she decided she needed to excuse herself and get away from the parents who decide that yeah. Anyway, but yes, you are correct, River. She does need to keep that mindset, and that's how that works. But you know what? It's okay. I think every couple needs to, and I think kids need to understand that their parents do things and that it's perfectly healthy, and that's the reason why your parents have a good relationship. If your parents don't have a good relationship, that's probably not happening, which is very sad in my opinion. So everyone needs a good when you're married, you need a very good relationship with your spouse, and that means other things that tend to happen. So yeah, there's that. Anyway, so another day in paradise, a lot of stuff going on. Just a normal routine here for me, which is, answering emails. I spent the entire day troubleshooting a bunch of tech stuff on my side because I'm trying to consolidate this and make it where it functions way better than it currently does. I mean, not that it functions poorly, but I'm trying to expand out because I need to make more time for me to do the things that I want to do. Other than, I like doing this, but don't get me wrong. But I'm trying to expand out so I can go get away. So I'll have enough content dropping throughout the week so I can go do some other things like public speaking. Because that's where I kind of want to go. That's kind of where I want to be at here in the future. That's kind of what where I would like things to be as as all this progresses into the direction that it's going. So I mean, it's kind of cool. I mean, things are always awesome. I mean, what I do for a living is pretty amazing, and the fact that you guys will allow me to do this, and as River has done, he goes in and he's like, don't forget to get your badges. All I can say is the dude's awesome. I appreciate it. Shout out to you for help being my ultimate fan. If anything, I don't hate to use the term fan because it's weird to say that I have fans. All I am is just a guy that just likes to talk about things and help people out on the occasional thing when it comes to all of this stuff. So who knows? That's what it is. But anyway, I've got a long list of some emails here. Probably want to jump into those. I do have another person that wants to jump in a little bit later. I know a couple of people have said they want to jump in on the live stream and possibly comment and things like that. May have Cindy jumping in a little while. So we will see. As my phone is going crazy with the notifications from. So I'm in a group of like a group chat with a bunch of people that I was on the TV show with, and so they're all talking about our audition tapes that were sent in. So everybody was posted theirs. I posted mine, but mine is honestly never going to see the light of the day other than these guys. These guys will see it. Plus, I can't post it for general public purposes because I have an NDA and I can't talk about the show that I was in. I'm sure some people could figure it out if they actually wanted to jump in and try to figure that out. But yeah, I was out of the country for a few weeks and I was in Vegas for a week. But yeah, if you do any kind of searching for TV shows filmed in Vegas and in other countries, you probably find it pretty easily. Anyway, let's jump into this first one while we're waiting for Cindy to get in here. If she may not make it tonight. I don't know. She said she's going to try, but we will see. Yeah, I need to send her a link that before I forget because I am forgetful. Get this over here. Got a couple of good ones. Toto's Garden is in the house. Go here. Let's do some muting here and let's do some sharing. If you guys don't mind, you probably have already done it, but give this thing a share. Put it on your stories or something like that, so you can, just to help get it out there. How are you doing, my friend? How are you doing? But yeah, because the more people that see it, the better. The more people watch it, the more, I guess broad this thing gets and the more things just tend to happen. So, I mean, honestly, the sharing is probably the most important thing ever other than having people follow and subscribe, but that's another story. So anyway, while that's done and sent, let's go back to an email. Let's get to one. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir, Mr. Toto. All right, here we go. Number 1. Hey, Devin. So here's the thing. I've been friends with my bestie for 10 years, and she recently started dating this guy who is, let's say, ridiculously attractive. The problem. I think I might be developing a bunch of a crush on him. I would never act on it, but every time we all hang out, it gets harder to ignore. How do I deal with these feelings without ruining our friendship or making things weird? Obviously, unloyal. So here's the thing. You don't act on it. You don't ever act on it. You can think that some people are beautiful. You can think that some people are awesome, especially if they're your friends, wives or boyfriends or husbands or whatever. You can think they're good looking. That's fine. But you never act on it. Ever. Never, ever. I mean, I'm sure you've told your friend that, wow, he's attractive, he's handsome, which is probably true. You've told her, and that's okay. And River says, if you were loyal, you would never develop a crush. However, does he have a brother? That is the real answer. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's okay to acknowledge beauty. That That is something that is completely normal and completely natural. You can acknowledge beauty all day long, but acting on it is wrong. To tell your friend that you have a crush on him would probably be a bad thing to do. So I would take that and I'd bottle it up and put it inside. But then, as River said, you can go and ask if he has a brother. And if he does, is he your age? And if he is your age, guess what? You just scored. The ultimate double date has just happened. So there you go. No, I mean, I acknowledge that personally, compatibility is more important than looks. You're not wrong. So here's the thing. When it comes to, and this is pretty much a blanket statement, but for the most part, it's fairly accurate. When it comes to men are for the most part immediately attracted to looks from the beginning. And I think men, when it comes in general to finding someone they want to date, it goes off of looks first. Always does. Now, women, it can be the same way too, but I think in many cases, women are more kind than men, where it comes down to personality. I want to say it's probably at least when it comes to men, it's probably at least 90% looks and 10% everything else. Where women, I think it's probably 60% personality and then 40% everything else. So, I mean, looks don't hurt. I mean, that's just a reality there. Because honestly, men are more shallow in some cases when it comes to attraction than women are. I'm thankful, as I've always said, I'm thankful that I married a 10 and she's legally blind because she married this and I married that. So there's that. Yes, my wife is absolutely gorgeous, just so you guys know. If you didn't know, and that me calling her 10 was not enough, it is true. But when it comes to relationships, though, personality is huge. You know, my wife's a beauty. If she did not have a good personality, she didn't have the smarts and things like that, looks cannot sustain you forever. Looks are not what's going to keep you in a relationship, because once a guy, he falls for the looks, then everything else starts to fall in place. And you have to have not just the physical attraction, but the mental, the emotional. We need to know that that person's going to be there to support us no matter what. All that has to be in the mix before, honestly, any marriage would even happen. And because a man, whoever they end up marrying, they marry them because they trust them, not because they're pretty. And then women marry for whatever reasons. I can only speak to them, but I know I do have my assumptions and the things I've read when it comes to women and attraction. But for the most part, I can honestly 100% emphatically say I understand the man side of attraction. So there's that. So there we go. Hey, Devin, I've been in a long distance relationship for a year now, and things have been great until recently. Lately, the spark just isn't there anymore. The phone calls feel routine, and the intimacy is practically non-existent. I miss that connection we had in the beginning, but I don't know how to bring it back when we're so far apart. How do I reignite the passion from a distance without sounding desperate? They say distance will make the heart grow fonder, but so I'm going to say this. The intimacy part is practically non-existent because you probably should have waited, to be honest. And yes, I know there's a lot of people out there that say, hey, just do whatever you want to do. It's your thing. It's free. It's a free life, blah, blah, blah. I can make my own decisions, whatever. Why? And this is an old saying, why buy the cow when you get the milk for free? That's literally what it is. And now that you guys are separate for long distance, it's going to be harder because he's gotten what he wanted. You're feeling that you're, let's see if it, trying to see if I can determine. When I got this email, it didn't say it was a boy or a girl. Oh, okay, yeah, so it was a girl. So the thing is, I think women need to not give in to the action so quick. Honestly, And I don't care if you say I got a 3-date deal or I got a 10-date deal. I say, how about a no date deal? I mean, just get to the point where you don't give it up just for the fact that you want to give it up. There needs to be something there that's going to give you much deeper alignment with the person. And honestly, the hardest part with long distance relationships is when you're getting what you want, there's really no need to do anything else. And then if you're not there to continue that on, then you'll find somebody else. And I'm not saying that he's with somebody else, but I'm saying there's a high probability that he is with somebody else. And that's sad. In any long distance relationship can work out if you're willing to put in the effort, but it takes both people and it takes a lot of work. And when you get in slumps like this, you got to figure out what to do to respark that. And then honestly, the hard part about resparking things is you need to be close to each other. And I'm going to tell you, I mean, it can work, but you got to be able to be willing to accept whatever's going to happen. So in this case, honestly, go visit him out of the blue, surprise him. That could backfire and you'll find out that he is with somebody else. And if he is, there's your answer on that one. But if he's not, then that would give you a spark. Like, oh, you came here just to see me for this reason? Yeah, I mean, that would be amazing. So sure, there's that. But honestly, I hate to say that I doubt what you want is going to happen, because it's going to be hard. It is definitely going to be something that you're going to have to work through. So yeah, I don't know. I'm so sorry, but you'll figure it out. Or since it's a man, a wristwatch. Yeah. Yeah. All right. What else we got? Hey, Devin, I'm dating a guy who's great, except for one thing. Why is it always one thing? Why is there always, why? So what makes so you're saying everything's great, but one thing, and this tends to be a ongoing thing. Maybe it's just something that people say when they're doing all that stuff. But okay, let's continue on. His ex is still involved in his life. They share a kid, so I get that they have to communicate. But sometimes it feels like she's around more than I am. She'll call him at for random things, and they still hang out as friends. But as it's starting to drive me nuts. How do I set boundaries without sounding jealous or controlling? Here's the deal. When there's a kid involved, there's really not much you can do. And if you drive any wedge in there, then you're going to find out how quickly his loyalty is to you. Because in reality, he may not get along with his ex as far as like being married, but a lot of people tend to be better friends than they are, in a relationship. But if you try to drive a wedge between that, he's not going to do anything that's going to hurt his relationship with his kid, because the fact that he has a good relationship with his ex means that he's trying to keep things together to make sure that kid has everything the kid needs. And then if you're going to try to, you are sounding jealous, and you're trying to sound a little bit controlling. But what you need to do is have a real conversation with them and say, hey, I want to make sure that we have our time together. And then you tell them, say, I do feel a little bit jealous because, the ex-wife is around a lot, but I don't want to be a wedge to cause any issues for your relationship with her and your son or your daughter or whatever it is. Let's see. We do something, have a kid together. No, that didn't say boy or girl. Either way, with the kid. You need to be there just as much for that kid as he is for that kid, because you potentially could be the future wife and the future stepmom. And honestly, stepmoms get a bad rap. So you get to just step back, swallow your pride a little bit, let things work out as they are, build your relationship with him to make sure your life is going like you should, but don't do anything that will cause a wedge between you and him, or you and the kid, because honestly, the kid's going to win. No matter where you look around it, the kid will win, and then that's what's just going to be. And River says, I know the only reason stepmoms get a bad rep is Disney. You're not wrong on that one. The evil stepmothers they do exist. Well, and this is along the same lines. If you're going to drive a wedge between two people, you will become the evil stepmother. So, I mean, not saying that you're trying to be the evil stepmother, but you got to tread lightly on this one, and you should communicate this and not being as jealous. Just say, hey, I'd just like to. I know you guys are friends, but hey, let's do things with us a little bit more, you know. But again, the kid will come. The kid will be priority one, no matter what. So don't mess with the kid. Don't mess with any man and his kid, because I tell you, men love their children, if not more than mothers do, and because men don't get enough credit for that. When you have a dedicated father, he will do anything he can to protect his kid, no questions asked. Heck, I will do anything I can to protect kids that are not even mine, because protecting a child is the number one priority in any life. They are the future. Kids are going to be around longer than I am, and we need to protect all our kids. Bottom line. Oh, this is going to be fun. Hey, Devin, this is a bit embarrassing, but I'm involved in an affair with a coworker. But a dedicated father is so rare these days. I don't know. No, okay, so I'll hope. Let's pause on this thing, but let's discuss that. I mean, I don't know if I agree with that. I think that what happens is men get so beat down by. Okay, I have a friend, and I think what's happened he's been beat so down from his exes, and they treat him like with such horrible disdain that they men just tend to give up, you know. And so if you know, it doesn't. So here's the reality: when you have two people that get married, and their relationship is amazing before you have kids. And I'm not saying kids are a cause of divorce. Kids are a reason that divorces potentially can happen, because when you have two people that when you're first married, your focus on each other is so in depth and so good that you know the ins and outs of each other so well. At least you should. Now, when it comes to having a kid, that throws a wedge, and I'm going to say it. The biggest wedge in any marriage is a child. Now, don't get me wrong. I love my children. I will live and die for my children. As in the infamous words of Ryan Reynolds, when that baby was born, he knew he would use his wife as a human shield to protect that child. The reality is, both my wife and I would do anything there is to protect our children. Now, if something ever happened to Shannon and I, say our relationship went to the crapper for whatever reason it was, I'm still in this for my kids. We may not have worked out. And this is one thing that two adults that should know better. Although it didn't work out for you guys and you may have bitter feelings towards each other, that means nothing. That means crap, because what really matters is your children. So that's when you have to bottle that pride up, and then whatever hatred or anger you have towards each other, you bottle that up and you push it to the side, and you say, you know what, we have to do the right thing for our kids no matter what. And I think what happens is men get beat down so horribly by women, and it's true. If you can go out there and look at it and ask people and ask divorced men who have kids if they feel beat up, emotionally, mentally, even sometimes physically by their exes. They will, and if you want an honest answer, they will probably give you that honest answer, and the answer is going to be yes. I mean, even the court systems favor women when it comes to divorces. And when it comes to kids, they will give the wife more custody, all custody, and treat the guy like he's trash. That's just wrong. I know of two people for sure that I know them personally, that they are better parents than their ex-wives. So, if the guy is the better parent than the ex-wife, then why are the kids with the ex-wife? That's the real answer. And I know the court systems say the kids should always go with mom. But if the mother is a shitty person, the kids should never be with the mom. The kids belong with the dad. Statistically speaking, it is 100% true. Look it up. Correct me. Try to correct me all you want. I don't give a crap. Statistically speaking, women who raise children alone, those children have a higher chance of going into the prison system than they do when they are raised by men alone. So if a child is raised by a dad, then those kids have a higher chance of not going to jail. Now, there's a higher chance if they're raised by both mom and dad. But if they're raised by just mom alone, the percentage is so much higher. I want to say it's probably 80 to 90% higher than just by dad alone. Now, that's not saying that dads are better. It's just because dads communicate things a lot more different than moms do. And and to hold things together, I think part of it is, and this is not a bad thing. This is why, honestly, men love women. Women are very much more emotional, and they think about things in a different way than men do. And that's the way it should be. Women are, because men tend to be more logical when it comes to things. And when they think about things more logical, what happens is they compartmentalize and they segment things out and they say, this is what's got to be done. No different than they do at work. That's why, in some cases that in a percentage that's why men typically get higher and more promotions than women do, is because they can compartmentalize things and go off of not the lack of emotion, but more off of compartmentalizing and action. Now, the other reason there's multiple reasons why women don't get paid as much as men do. And some of them are just total BS and they should not even exist. That is real. But if you're in the workplace and you work your tail off, you deserve to get the pay. That's the bottom line. But when it comes to raising kids, I think fathers tend to do better keeping kids from going to jail than women do. No offense to any single moms. You guys are doing your amazing part, and a lot of times, the men that were in your lives, some of those were total jackasses, and they should not even be around the kid. So there's that. Now, sorry, I got a little sidetracked, but no, I thank you for bringing that up. I mean, it's a dedicated father is rare, but it doesn't have to be rare, and I think it comes down to how the man is treated. Because when a man's treated poorly, he doesn't care and he'll just walk away, because no guy wants to be beat up all the time. And it's just not right. No man should ever be beat up all the time. It makes no sense. It should never be that way. Anyway. Okay, let's go back to the love affair. Hey, Devin, this is embarrassing, but I'm involved in an affair with a coworker. It started as a harmless flirting, but things escalated quickly, and now I'm in way over my head. We both know it's wrong, but the chemistry is insane. And I can't seem to stop. The guilt is eating me alive, and I'm terrified of what will happen if we get caught. How do I get out of this mess without blowing up his career, or worse, someone's life? Okay, well, I'll say it this way. You never should have done it from the beginning. You're automatically already feeling guilty about this crap. You just need to walk away. You got to end things. And honestly, probably the only way that it can end, you need to be applying for other jobs and you need to get a job somewhere else. So then you can get a good reference from where you currently are and then get a better job. And then honestly, negotiate your pay like you've never negotiated your pay in your life, because you can get a higher pay. Now, that being said, you may have great chemistry with this person, but honestly, you entered into an affair. You're ruining a family. Yes, I went there. I said you're ruining a family, because that's what's happening. And yes, it does take two to tango. He's just as guilty of you as you are. Actually, if anything, he's more guilty because he allowed it to happen. So there's that. He never should have even let the flirting happen. It should have been something that should have been addressed from the beginning. And so, yes, he's just as guilty. But the fact that you're recognizing that what you're doing is wrong, and you're afraid it's going to mess up and blow up, honestly, you need to look for another job, not tell anybody. Use your boss as a good reference. Hopefully you're not sleeping with your boss. Did I read that correctly or incorrectly? Let me see what it says. Let me read it again. No, it doesn't say that he's your boss. So that's if it is your boss, then you're kind of screwed. But what you need to do is get another job as quick as possible and move on, because you're going to ruin either his career, your career, his current relationship with the spouse. He can repair this with his spouse if they're both willing to work. He can repair this. But as far as you being there, as you said, you're sincerely office temptation. You got to get out. You are guilty of ruining a family. And that's a lot on your shoulders, and it sucks. And yes, I'm being very blunt and bold with you, but the reality is, you can't do this. That's not the way to live. You obviously have some value that he saw in you, and if he sees value in you, I guarantee somebody else will see value in you, and they'll want to be with you. And the chemistry with the new person will probably be just as good, if not better, especially when you're going into the relationship in a total different way. I mean, when we're honest with ourselves, so much more greatness can happen. It's through that honesty that life gets so much better. I mean, I wish politicians would actually understand that. Honesty brings so much clarity to people. It's insane. But we got to be willing to be honest with ourselves. So there's that. Take a sip. Hold on. All right. Hey, Devin. So my partner recently opened up about a pretty specific kink they have. And here we go. And now, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. You're back. Awesome. You came back on the right one. Here we go. I love them and I want to keep our relationship strong, but this is something I never expected. Part of me is curious, but the other part of me feels unsure. How do I navigate this without hurting their feelings or pushing myself too far outside of my comfort zone? People in their bedroom shenanigans. Gotta love it. All right, so here's the deal. The fact that your partner opened up to you about something that they want to try, I'm not going to say he or she because it doesn't say, then that's important, okay? That's something that you don't get every day. The fact that someone will open up about what they like in life, or something they would like to try, that means they're being very vulnerable, okay? Vulnerability is important. Especially if you're in your long-term relationship, you got to be vulnerable. You're supposed to be vulnerable. You're supposed to open up. And that's the thing, that when it comes to, especially with men, if they're going to be vulnerable with a woman, that woman has to safeguard that vulnerability as if it was, all the gold in the world. Because knowing those things about your husband is something that could either make or break him. And honestly, knowing those things could actually make him better, and by making him better, you can actually push him to, and he would make more money. And who doesn't like more money, right? Everybody needs more money. But honestly, if you did that, and because he was being vulnerable, your lives will be changed amazingly, because then that trust is there. And the fact that he opened up about something that's kind of kinky, I guess, then that's important, because that means he's willing to say, hey, I like you a lot, so let's try some stuff. So that's kind of cool. Or he or she doesn't say, I'm sorry. But and you say you want to keep your relationship strong, but it's something that you never expected. You're curious. Now, I will say, if this is adding a third person into your family, into your bedroom, that's a bad thing. That lady needs to call an audible and move on to her brother. The thing is, if you're curious yourself and it's not inviting another person into your bed, do it with caution. Be very blunt and straightforward. Set up boundaries, and you'll figure it out. Whatever you do behind your own closed doors is your own business. Now, and I'm sure if he's willing to open up to you and say, hey, this is something that or she both will they're willing to talk to you about, then you can say, okay, I may be willing to try, but here's what I need to do. Here's how I feel, and here's the boundaries we need to set. And then it can work out. You just got to communicate. The bottom line when it comes to this, you got to communicate and you got to talk. That's the only way to make this work is to talk about it and make sure that both you guys are on the same page. That's the bottom line. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, we got a lot of loved ones tonight. I don't know why. I think I was a late night connect while I was uploading a video. I was late night connecting different things. So here we go. Hey Devin, I never thought I'd be in this position, but here I am. I'm in love with two people. One is my long-term partner, who I've built a life with, and the other is someone who is making me feel alive in ways I haven't in years. I know I need to make a decision, but I'm torn between stability and excitement. How do I figure out what's the best for me when my heart is pulling me in two different directions? Okay, here's the deal. You've been with for a long-term partner, whether that means you've been married for someone with a long time or you've been dating this person for a long time. You made a commitment. If it's marriage, you made a stability, right? River's got stability. The thing is, the stability was exciting at one time. That's something you got to understand. Now, the excitement part means you've probably dabbled into the excitement a little bit, which means you've probably done some things that are, this is me reading between the lines, okay? But means you've probably done some things that you probably should not have done, especially if you're in a long-term relationship with somebody. River says, but when you're not stable, the excitement won't last. I mean, not wrong. The thing is, you had excitement at one time, and it wasn't just a stability. You've been with that person for a long time, and so you guys have built something, and that's why you have the stability, because you built something. You just didn't work. I highly doubt that you came into stability. There was probably some stability there because most men will work their tails off no matter what to make sure that their loved one is taken care of. But that being said, that was also exciting at one time. I think you got to just figure out why it's not exciting anymore, and then fix that excitement. Forget the other person. You're allowing another person get involved in your relationship, and it's going to ruin you. And honestly, you're probably going to end up without either one because of plain old stupidity. So again, the excitement will be cool, but it won't last. When you've already got something that's lasting, there's my take. Stop. You're not getting pulled in two different directions. You're being pulled in one direction, but you're wavering to the wrong direction. So I'm going to say it. Stop being stupid. Figure out how to make your current stability as exciting as it used to be, because it honestly was exciting at one time. Because I can tell you, women do like excitement, and if you had excitement, so you should kind of maybe stick with that. But what do I know? Maybe I'm just dumb. I'm just in a relationship with a woman for 23 years, almost. Actually, we've known each other for 26, almost 27 years, something like that. That being said, everybody goes through waves of non-excitement, but you got to just figure out how to make it exciting again. So get off your butt, figure it out, and take care of it. Everybody, the thing is that you're right, River. Everybody's always wanting more. But the thing is, what they don't understand, the more that they want is already what they have. It's already there. When all our kids are out of the house, when all our kids have whether they're married, whether they have their own apartment, it's going to be. So Ethan is he turns 14 in a couple of weeks. When Ethan turns 18, technically he is old enough, I would say, in my opinion, he's old enough to move out. Now, I won't make him move out at 18. It's that, I'm going to help him all like I do all my kids, try to help them establish a place so they can get to and be so they can be set up in a way, because it's hard out there and it's expensive out there. But when my kids are out of the house, that puts us in a total different world. I mean, holy crap. I'm about 4 years. Let's say I'm 4 years away to having a whole new excitement in my house. And obviously, my wife and I already have a great relationship. We already communicate very well. Some days are worse than others, or some days are better than others, should I say. But we still communicate. We still tell each other what's up. We talk to each other about everything. We still go on dates. We still do bedroom stuff. Thank goodness, because that would be a sad day. But you got to just, you got to stop thinking there's something more and wanting more that's not what you currently have, because you have that more. You just have to figure out what to do to make that more better. The more is, and you'll get there. A relationship thing is, everybody thinks relationships are something that well, I'm in a relationship now, everything's gonna be good. No, you gotta always work on it. You have to talk to each other. You have to always make it exciting. You got to keep each other guessing. There's not a day goes by that I don't learn something new about my wife. It's freaking amazing. And we've known each other for a long time, and I'm still learning new stuff from her. And that has nothing to do with the fact that I was in a car wreck and I have some memory loss. But that just makes it even better. So now I get to learn it all over again. So there's that. But the reality is, anyone can have what they want if they're willing to put in the effort. And that wanting more can be, it's easily to get and have more with something that's already there and old. And I'm not talking about age. I'm talking about distance, because time is distance. Time is that is just a measure of distance, is all time is. You can have more. Hey, Devin. Lately, I've been having those intense fantasies about someone who isn't my partner. And here we go. It's someone from work. And while nothing's happened, the attraction is real. I feel guilty even though I haven't acted on it. But I also can't seem to get them out of my head. How do I deal with these feelings without jeopardizing my relationship? Is this normal? Or am I emotionally cheating? You're emotionally cheating. I'll say it. You're emotionally cheating. Again, you can recognize that someone is pretty, someone's beautiful, someone's handsome. You can recognize that and acknowledge that. I mean, beauty is beauty, right? But once you start fantasizing and taking that to that next level, then that means you're going to an area of almost wishing. We got to stop. We people, we're better than this. And yes, I'm an advocate for monogamy. I may live in Utah, but that doesn't mean I have more than one wife. I only have one. That's a joke. Sorry. I can't hear the laughter. I guess I could do laughter. I guess that's something I can do. I don't remember which one it is, though. Nope, it's not that one. It's not that one. Not that one either. Yeah, I don't know. One of the buttons over there is actually laughter. I mean, okay, you can acknowledge that there's someone's pretty out there, but the reality is when you're in a committed relationship and you made a commitment to that person, you're with that person. It doesn't matter how pretty someone else is. You just don't even go there. You leave that alone. You don't go near it. You stay away from it, and you don't act upon it. So yes, again, I'm sorry. I'm as in your own words, you are emotionally cheating. So go find your boyfriend or your girlfriend or whoever your significant other is, and tell them that you love them, and make your fantasies about that person, because your fantasies will be so much better if you make it about that person. That is reality. And honestly, if you fantasize about your significant other, man, your life is so much better. I mean, honestly, even the bedroom stuff behind doors becomes way better, because you're like, oh, heck yeah. So yeah, there's that. Anyway. All right, so I named this one Tired and Tiptoeing, and I don't remember why, but here we go. Hey, Devin, I love my partner, but their jealousy is starting to get out of control. They don't like it when I hang out with my friends, especially if there are any guys in the group. It's gotten to the point where I feel like I have to walk on eggshells just to avoid a fight. I'm committed to them, but I need to own my life too. How do I set up boundaries without making things worse? Here's the thing. Here's the big deal here. When it comes to jealousy, jealousy is an evil beast that exists because people have insecurities, and if you're absolutely beautiful, or at least he thinks you're absolutely beautiful, I can understand. I mean, we all can understand how he would feel, because there are some insecurities that do kick in. That's human. Humans do that. That's what we do. We always want to make sure that what we have is ours, and it's always going to be there. Well, no, Rivers, you're not wrong, and honestly, yeah, Beast, you're not wrong either. The reality is this. So River says there was something that happened previously that gave him the need to be jealous when you're not around other guys. So that can be something that's seated within the the current relationship, which I hope not, or a previous relationship. And then jealousy is nothing but pure insecurity. It is. Jealousy is insecurity. And so we got to figure out what the root cause of the insecurity is. And this is something that you need to do. You need to figure out why that insecurity is there. Now, as a guy, I will tell you, as a good guy and as a nice guy, what happens is nice guys get cheated on a lot. And it makes nice guys get really bitter. And it makes nice guys feel that insecurity, especially if a nice guy is dating an absolutely drop dead 10, a gorgeous woman. There's going to be some insecurities there, especially if he has been cheated on. And if he's been cheated on, then he hasn't figured out how to get past that, because when you've been cheated on, you end up getting dumped. And when you get dumped, you're left with this openness of unknowing how to fix the problem. Now, what you can do is talk to him. Make him feel, doesn't even have to be talk. Your actions will speak more louder than words. You need to make him feel so secure in the relationship that it doesn't matter. I'm going to use my wife and I as an example. I'm at the grocery store. I'm clueless, just so you guys know. When it comes to women, I am literally clueless. So I don't know when people are flirting with me, and nor will I even try to figure it out. I can tell when my wife is flirting with me, but that's about it because I know her. But I'm at the grocery store. I probably told this story once before, but I'll say it again. I was at the grocery store, and my oldest daughter's with me, and we're surprisingly, as funny as it is, we're in the produce department, and I'm picking out some stuff. I don't even know what I was getting. I was just getting out some stuff, and this woman comes up to me, and she asked me my opinion on whatever it was. I don't know if it was what kind of fruit or whatever it was. She asked me my opinion. No, it was about watermelons. That's exactly what it was, about watermelons. And she asked me if I knew the best way to to pick out a watermelon. And of course, I said, yes, I do. I do know the best way to pick out a watermelon. And I know this because my wife has taught me how to do this, because I don't know where she read it or she saw it or she learned it, but she learned it some ways. So if you guys ever want to know, the best watermelons actually have that light colored, I guess where they've been sitting on the ground for a while. It's kind of more of a yellowish because it's been sitting there for a while. But then that's not the main part. Look for like the lines and streaks and like bee sting points into it, because that means that's going to be the sweetest watermelon. Never fails. My wife finds that watermelon and it is the best watermelon you ever get, because the bees like it so much. That means we'll like it. So that's how you tell. So I explained this to this lady, and then my daughter, she's sitting on the side of the the shopping cart, the buggy. Yes, I'm from the South. It's a buggy. And she's listening. And so we get done, and we're going through there, and she's keeping to herself. She's kind of quiet. And then she says, Dad. I'm like, what? She goes, that woman was flirting with you. I'm like, no, she wasn't. She goes, Dad, that woman was flirting with you. I'm like, no, she was not. She says, she totally was. I'm like, I said, I highly doubt that. And so by the time we get home, she goes and tells Shannon, and she says, Mom, there was a woman flirting with Dad. And she tells her the whole story. And if Shannon was a jealous person, she could have come out and beat the snot out of me. But on the other side, Shannon looks at her oldest and says, Paris, your dad's not going anywhere. That simple. And I'm not, nor will I ever Because as I tell people, I married a 10. And she's not just a 10 in looks, she's a 10 in everything else. And when you marry a 10, everything else is below a 10. So there's some jealousy here. You need to make him feel as secure as possible in your relationship, no matter what it is. Whether it's the way you dress, maybe it's how you act, whatever. Now, if you're causing the insecurity and jealousy to get there, stop it. Just stop it and fix it. Because if you got a good man, you need to hold on to him and keep him with you as much as possible, because good men are very hard to find, especially ones that have not been beaten down so hard in life. You find that good man, you hold him, and you make it work. There's your answer. All right. Let's see what else we got. Hey, Devin. My partner and I have been discussing the idea of opening up our relationship. You're a freaking idiot. And while part of me is intrigued, the other part is terrified, as you should be. I love them and I trust them, but I'm worried that opening the door to other people could backfire and hurt what we have. How do I figure out if this is something I actually want, or if I'm just going along with what makes them happy? You're an idiot. I've said this a million times. What a colorful observation. Hell to the no. These are the comments coming in right now. It drives me crazy when I hear people talking about having an open relationship, and it's just, I guess it's the thing. It's what's being portrayed. How are you doing? That is being portrayed on TV like crazy, especially some of these newer shows, these newer reality shows. That's what they talk about. An open relationship is destined to end so badly, you're going to end up with nothing. So if you're willing to have nothing, then you say yes. Now, here's the sad reality. This could be as simple as this, as saying they just want to explore the idea. And sure, explore the idea, but end with no. Or if they want to explore the idea, it's because the idea has already been explored, but not with you. And that means there's probably someone on the side. Now, not trying to make you sad, not trying to make you cry, but the reality is this, is if that door is ever opened, or is to be opened, whatever you think you have right now is going to be gone. It will be gone. And it's never going to get back. So yes, don't be stupid. My gosh. What we allow into our lives either makes or breaks us. And this is guaranteed to break you. So there you go. I'm sorry, I guess I get too blunt sometimes. But the reality is the reality. No, that's not coffee. It's actually a chocolate that you brew like coffee, but it's not coffee. All right. Hey, Devin. I've been dating someone for 6 months, and they're already talking about moving in together and getting married. Wow. I would say that's probably down in Provo, but that would be probably 6 dates. So let's continue. I like them a lot, but I feel like things are moving way too fast. I'm not ready for that level of commitment yet. And I'm scared that if I say something, they'll think I'm not serious about the relationship. How do I slow things down without ruining what we have? So here's the thing. You're in the relationship too. It's not just about them. It's about both of you guys. When it comes to dating, you date to marry. I know some women that date just to get a free meal, but those tend to weed themselves really quick out. But You date to marry. Now, that being said, should you get married after just 6 months? Probably not. Could you be ready to be married to someone after about 6 months? Yeah, you could be. Can a 6-month relationship actually last a long time? Yes, it can. But the only way that works is if you're in it together and you're willing to put in the work together. Now, if you think things are going too fast, then they are going too fast. There's nothing wrong with talking and having the discussion of marriage, because the reality is that is the bottom line. You will, if you're with this person for a long time, or whatever the determined number that matches to what you want, so you actually know that you want to spend your life with this person, whatever that number of dates and time is, it'll work out. And that River says that's going to crash and burn if you don't spend more time. For a person your age, I'm going to tell you, you are very wise. The thing is, if it's going too fast, it's probably going too fast. Okay? And you're in the relationship too, and your opinion does matter, and your opinion does count. And that needs to be said. And if it comes across very too bluntly for them, then too bad. Just tell them, say, hey, I like where this is going. I'm not ready to move in. I'm giving you the words here. I'm not ready to get married. Doesn't mean marriage is off the table, but we need to figure out who we are together a little bit more before we actually even jump into that. And you can use my line. You date to marry, right? You say, I'm dating you to find if we are compatible enough and I feel like we should get married, because it is two-sided. One person just doesn't decide you get married. He may ask you to get married, but you still have to decide to say yes. So give yourself some time. Let it work out. Spend more time with each other. Get to know each other way much better. Do the things that matter that help you to be a better person and make them a better person. If it's right, it's worth the wait, and build that relationship. Amen, Master Beast. Amen. I mean, that's the reality. You don't have to rush into anything. I mean, Joe, I'm going to tell you, you've been married a while. And you're a wise man. And the reality is if I remember right, you've been married a while. But the reality is people need to just slow down, put the brakes on a little bit, and not just rush into everything immediately. 32 years in speaking. So you are way further than me. I'm 23, almost 24. So I'm the opposite of you. I've got to just flip those numbers around. So yes. So 32 years in speaking, you know what you're talking about. Yeah. It's okay to take it slow. And if any guys, if they get upset with the fact that you want to take it slow, then honestly, I'm gonna tell you, they're not the right person anyway. And that gives you the answer that you feel uneasy about. That's the answer. That tells you exactly what you need to know about that person. And it's good not to waste that time, and you can move on with your life. There you go. And that is sad, and that is hard to deal with sometimes. But you know what? It's better to be told the sad, hard truth than to be lied to and be stuck into something. So there you go. All right. I'm going to do maybe one or two more relationship ones, and I'll see if I can find something that will change the temperature of the room. So, hey, Devin. I'm in a great relationship, but my ex won't stop texting me just to check in. At first, it was harmless, but now it's becoming more frequent, and my partner is starting to notice. I don't want to be rude to my ex, but I also don't want to jeopardize what I have with my new partner. How do I handle this without causing unnecessary drama? You're causing unnecessary drama. Holy crap. Here's the thing. They're an ex for a reason, and you sound like the person like you were dumped. You sound like the person that you didn't do the dumping. This sounds like you were dumped. Actually, hold on. Let me rethink this. No, this actually sounds like you were the one that did the dumping. Let me retract that. This is the total opposite. So they're looking for a handout still. They're hoping that something will happen that may change your mind and go back to them. That's exactly what this is reading to me. So that being said, they're an X for a reason, and I've said that all the time. They are an X for a reason. You probably broke up with them for a reason, and if I'm wrong on that assumption, and they broke up with you, there's a reason why they broke up with you. But either way, by just getting those text messages, you are jeopardizing your current relationship. 100%, you're jeopardizing that. So to solve the problem, you change your number or you block the number. Blocking it's a lot easier. You don't have to change it. Then they'll never ever be able to get in touch with you because you've blocked the number. Unless they change their number, then you can block them again. The reality is they are an X for the reason, and you're creating the unnecessary drama in that you're involved in that unnecessary drama just by accepting the text messages. Unless you're holding on in hopes that maybe that they could come back around. And if that's the case, you're an idiot. Why are you in a relationship with the person you're in right now? Why are you even pretending to say you're going to try, you don't want to jeopardize what you currently have? Because if what you had before is good, then just why are you not with that person? So bottom line is block them, move on with your life, forget about it. Again, they're an X. X is X. You doesn't mean it's current. That is the past. The person you're with is your current future. Move on. Oh, this one's like right along the same lines. I think that's why I joined these together. So this one says, "Hey Devin, I've been dating my partner for a while now, but there's one thing that's been bothering me. They talk about their ex." Maybe these are the two people. That's why I joined them together. They talk about their ex a lot. I mean, it's like every other conversation involves some story about their past relationship. I'm trying not to let it get to me, but it's hard not to feel insecure. Should I be worried? Or is this just normal? How do I bring this up without sounding jealous? Here's the thing. You're in a relationship with someone who does nothing but talk about their ex. Part of the reason is they have nothing to compare to. They only have what they previously had to compare to. So they're comparing your current relationship, y'all's current relationship to the previous relationship. Now, that can do two things. That can make your relationship stronger if they're willing to learn from the mistakes that were made in the past with the previous person. Or it's going to completely ruin the relationship because they can't move on. And to me, you're right. They're not over their ex. The thing is, that's probably the conversation you should have. Joe's right. Beast is right. You need to have the conversation and honestly ask them if they're over their ex. But be prepared to have that conversation to go the direction you don't want it to go. That's the short end of the stick there. You're going to have to, that's a conversation that is going to go in a direction that's going to be really hard to recover from. Relationships are hard no matter what. Doesn't matter if you've been married 32 years like Joe or 23 years like me, or you've just been in one for 6 months. Relationships are hard. But as River said, prepare for the worst and expect the best. Just go into it. Discuss this insecurity. You have an insecurity because they keep talking about their ex, but they have an insecurity because they keep talking about their ex. And if they are not over their ex, then maybe it's not time to be together. I mean, you guys have been together for a while, but if they keep comparing your relationship to the ex, they're not committed to it yet. The commitment is non-existent. It's not there right now. Have a conversation. Be prepared. It's going to be sucky, but it could work out real well. Maybe it's time, as River said, maybe it's time to become the new ex. And you guys can leave on good terms, because honestly, the way you're feeling right now doesn't put you guys in a good light. But it'll work out. Hey, Devin. I've been with my boyfriend for 2 years. They're starting to get jealous of my best friend. The catch is, my best friend is a guy, but we've been friends since childhood. There's nothing romantic between us. My boyfriend says he trusts me, but every time I hang out with my friend, he makes little comments and asks a million questions. It's making me feel guilty for something I'm not even doing. How do I get my boyfriend to understand that my best friend is just that, a friend? Here's the thing. Now, I will say it, and it's the thing that a lot of it is an anomaly, and it can happen, but it doesn't always happen. My daughter is a prime example of this. She has a lot of friends that are guys, and not in that way. She has got one thing she doesn't get along with. She knows that she sets up a boundary, and that boundary stays there. All right, you TG, have a good night. Be safe. Have a good day at work tomorrow. By the way, again, be safe. But the reality is this, though: just because a person can be friends with somebody, it does not mean. So I've got friends that are girls, but we don't hang out all the time. See, man. But I can see how there's jealousy could be there. You just got to build up that security, though. A person can be friends with the opposite sex, but it's something that you have, both people in the relationship, or all three people in the relationship, have to understand that it has to work as that, just a friendship. I think it was Steve Harvey. He actually said it is impossible for a man to be friends with a woman, because a man always wants to be on the sidelines with a chance that if he's friends with that woman, he's on the sidelines with a chance he may have a chance to get with her. Now, I don't believe that, but I think that's probably 90% true. But given, it can happen. You just got to be open with your boyfriend. If you guys have been together for 2 years, you just got to be open with them. And let them see that there's nothing between you two. I mean, you shouldn't feel guilty for having friends, a friend that's a guy. I mean, I don't think you should ever feel guilty about that. But you need to make sure he feels secure. I mean, and that's important. Yeah. It'll be okay. You just got to have the conversation, and you need to make sure they feel comfortable. All right. Let's see what we got. Let's see if I can get out of this. Okay, here we go. This one is not a relationship one. Hey, Devin, I just had my first baby, and while I love being a new mom, I'm struggling with my own mother. She's consistently criticizing the way I do things. How I feed the baby, how I dress them, how I let them nap. It's driving me crazy, and it's starting to make me doubt myself. I want to set some boundaries, but I don't know how to do it without hurting her feelings. How do I handle this? Okay, so you've got a mom that's a little overbearing, and here's the thing. Your mom has a lot of experience in raising kids. That is very true. You've probably read every book you can, knowing most women, they do. They read all the books that they can to figure out what they need to do. But then honestly, intuition kicks in, and 99% of the stuff that's in those books goes out the window. When it comes to raising kids, it is a hard thing to do. So what you can do is just tell her, I would just straight up tell her, say, Mom, I know you have been a wonderful mom. You have set the great examples for me when it comes to being a mother, and I appreciate every bit of it. What I need more than anything else is not necessarily the advice or the criticisms. What I do need is just the support. Because you set such a good example for me, whether it's true or not. You can say, just because you set such a good example for me, I'm trying to emulate you, but I want to do it in my way. And that can be done, and that's easy to do. That's something that can happen, and that's something that she should understand. Now, she may not understand, because I can tell you, as a potential, I don't have one right now, but in the future, I will be a grandfather. And I will tell you, I will be, and when that day comes, I will be super excited. But the one thing I will not do is tell my children how to raise their kids. It's not my place. The door is always open and the phone's always on. If they have a question on something, I am always willing to answer because I know a lot. I mean, we've raised 5 kids. We've seen everything there is when it comes to having 5 kids. And they've gone through everything from things that were from criminal things that have potentially happened. Never was fully criminal, thank goodness. But from criminal things that potentially happened to everything. It will all work out. Okay, River, what'd you say? 3 cardinal rules. Never bring up politics, religion, and never tell someone how to raise their kid. Amen to that one. Now, sometimes it's hard to convince grandparents of that 3rd rule. And then Joe the Beast says, there's no manual for being a parent. You can only take away what works for you. That's exactly right. And River, wait a second. You were a criminal. You were just never convicted. No, I have a clean record. I have probably done some criminal things in my life, but I've never been arrested I've never been arrested. Okay. I'm just saying, when you raise kids, anything can happen, from criminal stuff, from them being stupid to having a little cold. No, nothing has ever happened to me, by the way. So yes, I can pass any FBI background check, put it that way. And I have, but that's a different story. No, I mean, the thing is, you just need to tell your mom that you need a little bit of space. She was a good example, but you want to do it your way. And if you just want to know that she will always be there if you have a question. And I guarantee she'll say yes. If you word this in the right way, it will be fine. And you don't have to worry about it. I know that you're worried about that whether you're doing something right or wrong, but on the other side, you're also worried about, are you going to hurt her feelings? You got to talk to her. And if you need any help, I will tell you this: where there's an overbearing woman, there's usually a very docile, loving dad. Get your dad involved. He will help you. He will make things happen, because that's what dads do. That's the reality. Talk to your dad, and the thing is, your dad has known your mother for a long time. I'm assuming, at least. Well, I'm assuming if you're, let's just say you're in your 20s. Say you're having a child in your 20s, or even 30s. That means your parents are at least in their 50s. Your dad knows your mom more than you know, better than you know your mom. You've known your mom for 30-something years, 20 to 30-something years. The reality is, your dad's known your mom longer. He knows what works. He's been held hostage for 50 years, River says. Marriage is not that bad, my friend. Trust me, marriage is good. Yeah. It'll be fine. Just talk to her. All right. Hey Devin, I've been dating someone for a year and it's getting serious, but there's one thing I haven't told them. It's a massive credit card debt. It's something I'm ashamed of, and I've been too scared to bring it up, now I feel like I've waited way too long and don't know how to break the news without them freaking out. How do I approach this conversation? Here's the deal. Debt sucks. Owing money is horrible. The fact that you have massive, if in your words, massive credit card debt, you've probably not been very wise with your money. And you've probably bought things you didn't need because you felt insecure, and what makes you happy was spending money. Spending money helped make you feel happy, Elizabeth? She says yes. Huh? You want to tell me something? With my daughter walks in the house and says, "Can I tell you something without you getting mad?" All right.
Did you hear the motorcycle?
I did not hear the motorcycle. Was that you?
Guess how fast it went?
Were you with somebody?
They were driving. I was on the back.
Were you doing 80, 90? You know, when you're on, you were wearing a...
I told them to punch it. They weren't even going to I just told them to. What'd they say?
No, was it an art? No, it was a motorcycle. Here's the
Do
thing.
you want to know how fast?
I probably, your mom's going to find out. You know that.
I'll tell her.
River says, I heard it and it was incredible.
Sure. Can I tell you?
Go ahead and tell me.
160?
Okay, here's the thing. I never want to hear that ever again. 160 miles an hour on a motorcycle is not wise.
We aren't ever going to do it again.
What kind of motorcycle was it? You don't know?
I can ask.
Find out, because the River says, yeah, an R1, a Yamaha 1000.
I don't know what it was. I'll ask.
All right, never again. That is not smart, by the way.
No, but we're going to go cruise up the mountain.
Cruising up the mountain, or like,
Cruise.
are you going tonight?
Tomorrow.
Oh, okay. This child.
It was so fun.
Joe says, unless it was a Harley, it's not a real bike.
Those are slow.
Oh, no. Harley, you don't know what you're talking about. She said that was slow. Oh, man. My children. You know what, though? I can honestly say this. And this is, okay. I'm not saying I'm the greatest parent in the world, but I will say it this way. The fact that my daughter will come into the house and tell me something that she knows that I don't want to know because she's concerned that I would. Well, one, she probably knows I'll probably find out anyway. But on the other side, that she can go in and say, here's what I did when she was wearing a helmet. Although I disagree with the whole thing, at least they're willing to talk to me about things. And there's a lot of parents that do not have that ability when it comes to their kids, especially as they're teenagers or they get into young adults. It is super important to always talk about your own kids and talk to your kids about everything. No questions asked. Without judgment, go into it with an open mind and be able to discuss things as it needs to be discussed. Yeah, that's the thing that has to be done. The dude was really pulling a Ken block going up Pikes Peak. What else? The other one. At that point, it's not riding. It's just pure adrenaline. You're not wrong. I mean, going that fast, well, that's why she came in all smiling ear to ear, because it was straight adrenaline. She's got the big, huge adrenaline rush right now. My children. Gotta love them. Gotta love them. Anyway, what was I saying earlier and you guys were commenting? When you're in debt, essentially the people you're in debt to own you. Yeah, that's true. So the thing is, if you're in a relationship and you have massive amount of debt, that needs to be a conversation. You need to talk to your significant other about these things. Thank you, River. River says, "I will say it. Your children are badasses." Oh, your children are badass, and they know some badass people. Yes, they do. My kids are awesome. My kids are pretty cool. Yeah, really cool. All right. Well, back to as far as the debt shame. You need to talk to them. You need to talk about it. It needs to be brought up. And there's no time. There's no better time than now Honestly, they need to know, because if you guys are to get serious into a relationship, you need to know, he needs to know or she needs to know what they're getting into. Because essentially you get into a relationship and you get married, then your debt becomes his debt. His debt becomes your debt, and you need to be able to work it out and be able to get it paid off. Now, he may be able to offer you a good plan to get it paid off. I mean, there's so much information out there these days to get out of debt. I have a friend in Nashville. He's a finance guy, and the stuff he talks about is pretty simple and easy. He gives some of the best advice you could ever get in your life, and it's just, again, most simplest advice. We would go to lunch every now and then, and he'd tell me cool things. But the reality is you just going to start with your smallest debt and pay it off as fast as possible, and then pretend you don't have any more money. You have to pretend you are poor. That's the reality. Yeah, I don't disagree. Joe says the debt needs to be handled before getting married. I agree with that 100%. Now, massive credit card debt could be just a few thousand, and especially if you're making minimum wage. It could be, yeah, there you go. You knew who I was talking about, Mr. Ramsey. I mean, the thing is, when it comes to debt, if you don't address it from the beginning, you're gonna set yourself up for many, many years of hard frustration and strain on your relationship. Because not to say that money is the cause of marriages getting divorced is true. Yeah. Do what? Huh? Torch? What torch? Oh, it may be in the red toolbox on the bottom. What are you burning? Oh, she's toasting marshmallows. Got it. If you don't address the debt, though, your debt's going to cripple you. It'll cripple you, cripple him, cripple the relationship. It's going to destroy you. Yeah. Talk about it. Put a plan together. Let him know that you're working on it. Go without things. Honestly, the biggest saver of money, stop going to Starbucks. Stop going to Dutch Brothers. Stop spending unnecessary money on things that you don't need. Buy yourself a dang water bottle and drink out of the water bottle. Brew your own coffee at the house. Financial issues and not being on the same page will kill your relationship. Absolutely. And that's why you need to bring it up and talk to them and get it done and over with right there. Stop going to Waffle House. Boy, I wish we had a Waffle House around here. Holy crap. Seriously though, stop going out to eat. If you stop doing it, well, yeah. If you stop doing some things in your life, like stop paying for Netflix. Stop allowing Netflix to deduct money out of your bank account every month for TV shows that you rarely watch or occasionally watch. Oh, I just got turned off my light. There it is. Anything that's reoccurring. Yeah, you're not wrong, River. Any bill that you have that's reoccurring, if you can eliminate it immediately. And you're like, okay, well, but what if I want to have Netflix? I said it before and I'll say it again. If you want Netflix, stash money to the side and go buy a dang gift card at the store, because you can watch everything that you want to watch in one quarter. We're on that downslide of Netflix in our house where we don't watch it because we've watched everything we want to watch, and it's literally about to expire and then I may get it again for the month of December, and it'll last us one quarter because I'll spend the money on a gift card and I'll turn in the gift card. That cashes in. That means they only get to deduct the money that's in the gift card and not out of my bank account. People you need to preserve your bank account and allow no one to deduct anything that's unnecessary out of there. And that's one of them. You not buy things that you don't need. It's that simple. So, but you get it under control. I guarantee he'll support you and it'll work out. But you need to bring it up. Hey, Devin, I've been doing well at my job, and my boss seems to have noticed. Maybe too much. Lately, they've been piling on extra projects, and I'm starting to feel like I can't keep up. I want to be a team player and show I'm capable, but I'm getting overwhelmed. How do I politely let them know I've reached my limit without seeming like I'm slacking? You need smothered and covered. Yeah. Smothered and covered. Man, I need a Waffle House right now. It has been years since I've had Waffle House. I'll say it that way. Man, Waffle House is good. Probably one of the only places that has not been affected by inflation too much like we have. Well, it's been years, so I can't speak to that. What would I do with a Waffle House? I don't know, man. Waffle House is definitely up there. It is the worst food you'd ever get, but it's the most amazing food you could ever get. We could probably do an entire podcast just on Waffle House alone. Here's the thing: when you go into a Waffle House and if your feet don't immediately start sticking or sliding, one or the other, then you know it's too new and that they don't have the right cook yet, because the floor you have to be able to glide with your feet on that floor or stick to the floor before you know it's going to be a decent meal. Those are going to be some Joe Rogan podcast. We're going to talk about the Waffle House for hours and hours. Road trip to Fort Collins, Colorado. Is that really the nearest Waffle House in Fort Collins? Man, that'd almost be worth it, wouldn't it? Waffle House. Yeah. I tell you what, if a person was to put a Waffle House here in Utah, they would make a killing. It would be packed all the time. All right, let's see. Yeah, there are. So our state's got nothing, but there's 10 of them in Colorado. So Denver, Colorado Springs has some. That Castle Rock's got one. Interesting. It does. Okay. Looks like I've got it. Before our cruise, we went to Florida and got Waffle House, and that stuff was perfect. You're not wrong. You are correct, Joe. Do you know Del Norte? I do not. I've never heard of that. Del Norte. What is that one? Let me look that up. Del Norte. I mean, I'm saying it probably wrong, but that's a city. Got it. I understand. I do not know where that is. Where is that on the map? Zoom out. There we go. I've been all over Colorado. It's been years, but I've been all over Colorado. I love Colorado. It's a beautiful, beautiful state. So where's that at compared to the rest of the state? So that's kind of okay. So that's not too far from Alamosa. Very nice. Okay, very nice. Now you guys are comparing vehicles. That's a Mac. I ain't no Mac. I'm a Peterbilt. Sorry, quoting some cars, but yeah. Yeah, you know what though? It's there's yeah. I got completely sidetracked, and you guys have sidetracked me, and it's okay. Oh. So this guy you're getting a ton of work. I'm gonna read it again just for sake of reading it. I've been doing well at my job, and my boss seems to have noticed maybe too much lately. They've been piling on extra projects, and I'm starting to feel like I can't keep up. I want to be a team player and show I'm capable, but I'm getting overwhelmed. How do I politely let them know I've reached my limit without seeming like I'm slacking? Right, shiny thing, squirrel. The thing is, if you can perform well and take on more tasks, that actually you are standing out at your job. And to stand out on your job is always a good thing, because that means that can lead to potential more work. That could lead to potential more raises, more money, more security. But there does come a point when you get to be overwhelmed. So what you need to do, just tell them, say, hey, I'm still working on these other projects. I know you probably need these other, you got some other stuff that you want to throw at me. Is there a way that we can, when I finish one, then take on another a little bit at a time? Because then you say, I want to make sure I can give my 100% all into the job that needs to be done. I don't want to give you, do a project and then all of a sudden the project doesn't fully get done because I was not able to give my full attention to it. And honestly, if you're that honest with your boss and you propose it in the way that that will benefit them, they'll be fine with it, because it's your attention to detail and the fact that you're bringing it up, saying I'm getting a little bit overwhelmed because of all the projects you're throwing at me. You can say thank you for noticing me and allow me to work on these projects, but you want just let them know that you don't want to be you want to make sure you give full detail to what needs to be done. That's the easiest way to handle it. I mean, the fact that you're getting that recognition is a beautiful thing, and it should be that way. So there you go. Here we go. We got a nightmare going on our books. Here we go. So, hey, Devin, I've been trying online dating for the past year, and let's just say it's been a nightmare. From guys who lie about their age to one who brought his mom, oh my gosh, to one that brought his mom on our date. No joke. I feel like I'm cursed. Is it me, or is modern dating just this bad? Should I give up, or should I keep going and hoping for the best? Online dating survivor. Okay. I've said it before, and I'll stand behind my words. There's nothing wrong with mama's boys, but that's taking it a little bit to the extreme. The fact that you went on a date with a guy and he brought his mom on the date with him, that's a red flag. So obviously you're not going out with them anymore. I don't know if I can speak to the online dating world, because I grew up not with online dating. I grew up in the old way of dating, where you saw a cute girl and you just took a chance. And you walked up to her and you pulled off some stupid line that she probably hated anyway, but you intrigued her, and you intrigued them enough that they'd give you a chance at least. That's the dating world I grew up in. Yeah, right. How was the umbilical cord still attached? You just don't. I mean, you don't take your mom on a date with you. She says, ugh. Don't mean to eavesdrop, but yuck. Yeah, it's funny, and I'm sorry that I'm laughing at your expense, and other people are listening, and they're probably laughing at your expense, but online dating sounds like it's horrible. I can honestly say, if something was to happen to my wife, I would probably be single for the rest of my life. I do not ever want to have to worry about that type of world and get involved in that type of world. That just seems so depressing to me. Now, that being said, that doesn't help you. So here's my advice on what needs to be done. You need to keep dating. But I did see this video today. It was pretty interesting. And in the video, it showed this girl walking through Home Depot. And it says, I've given up on online dating. I guess I'm just going to walk through Home Depot, look like I need some help. You know what? You want to meet a decent guy? Go to Home Depot. Now, make sure they're not felons because that can happen. But on the other side, if you're in Home Depot and you look like you need some help, I guarantee there's a million guys in that store that would be willing to help you out. So if you want to meet a guy that has some type of substance and that can fix you a house or build you a house or anything, go to Home Depot. River says, no, you just need to meet someone who offers to hang your Christmas lights up. You've been watching way too many Hallmark Christmas movies, River. I think that's where you, and I know it's pretty much Hallmark Christmas movie time now. That just sounds like that's literally what you what you're describing. Do you hang Christmas lights? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Do I need to make a love connection here? Is this what needs to happen? No, seriously though. If online dating is hard for you and you're running into bad luck because all these just weird guys bringing their moms to go out on a date with you, at least did the mom at least goes, okay, here's the question though. Did he pay or did his mom pay? Because either way, you got a free meal. So look at it that way. That's the good part of it. No, I was saying the only person you'll meet at Home Depot is someone that will hang your Christmas lights. Possibly so. But honestly, I think that at least the dating model would be a little bit different than online. I see your point. I do see your point, though. At least that's better than bringing your mom. So yeah, yeah. Just you'll figure it out. Don't give up. Stick to it. Keep dating. Even if it's online, or ask your friends if they know anyone that they want to hook you up with. Because friends, no, okay, yeah. What you need to do is not depend on your friends. You need to go find. Yeah, Joe. The B says, "Thank God, I'm married." We are. Oh, thank God, we are married. Absolutely, I am not denying that fact by any means. I am so happy and so glad that I'm married and I've been married and I don't have to deal with this online dating stuff. No, what you need to do, you need to go find the little old lady that's in your town that knows everybody. Because I guarantee she knows everybody and she knows every good, eligible man out there, and let her help you hook you up. That will happen. It can happen, and you'll probably find a decent guy that way. My gosh. Dating. I can't even imagine. I mean, I go on dates, but it's with my wife. Yeah. Hey, Devin, I grew up in a really strict, controlling household, and I swore I'd never be like my parents. But now that I'm in my 30s, I'm starting to notice how some of the same patterns in myself, especially in my relationship, it freaks me out because I don't want to repeat their mistakes. How do I break free from the example they set and become my own person? Okay, here's the thing. We all eventually turn into our parents at some point in some ways. Now, that being said, I'm assuming you're talking about the things that you didn't like, the things that I would say I can't even say the word, that become generationally passed down trauma. We'd never want to pass down the generational trauma. So the only way to do that is to honestly think before you speak and just do the right thing. If you think before you speak, then the chances are you're not going to say or do the things that your parents did. Now, I'm sure your parents did some good things, and those are the things you'll probably want to carry on. Now, that being said, you have to put in the effort when it comes to your relationship, when it comes to raising a family, when it comes to how you were treated. You just need to make sure that you are willing to accept the things that were thrown at you, but also, again, think before you speak or think before you act. And if you do that, then you will recognize that you need to make a different decision. Now, there are some things that your parents did that they did it the way they did it. The reason they did it, the things they did, is because of the situation that they were thrown at. So you have to think about it on those terms too. Just like you were growing up and they were raising you, your parents were growing up too. Just like you're growing up and you're seeing your kids grow up, you're growing up before your kids' eyes too. I can tell you, I'm 46 years old. I've never been 46 before. This is the first time I've ever been 46, and I'll never be 46 again. So I don't know how to act. I just know how I need to react. And sometimes I react poorly. Sometimes I react exactly as I should react. You just need to sit back and say, okay, will this pass on generational trauma, or will this pass on generational, growth? What you got to do is just sit back and breathe a little bit. Sit back, take a few breaths before you make an answer. The River says you got to remember it's still your parents' first time around. That's right. Just like, it is for me. And one thing I'm grateful for, I was able to always talk to my mom about anything, even if it was going to hurt her feelings, and she would always be able to talk to me about anything, even if it was going to hurt my feelings. Even if we didn't see eye to eye, we were able to talk about it. And I think that's one reason, like my kids and my daughter comes in and tells me something I don't want to hear. Not because she was bragging, because she wanted to make sure that I knew that she was safe. That's what that was about. That's totally what that was about. Those are the things we need to take into any relationship and into anything as a parent. Be willing to discuss the things that are hard and not overreact on the hard things. So it comes down, honestly, bottom line, it comes down to love. That's my take. This comes down to love. If you feel, if you can say something in a way that it still comes across as they know that they are loved, then that's how it needs to be portrayed. That's how that works. So there. All right. Hey, Devin. I've been in a relationship for over a year, but my partner isn't out to their family, or what? Okay. Took me a second. Rewind. Get this going. All right. Hey, Devin. I've been in a relationship for over a year, but my partner isn't out to their family. I see where this is going. Took me a second. Some things just did not compute. I completely understand their decision, but it's getting harder to hide my feelings in public. And I hate that I can't fully share our relationship with the people in my life. How do I support them while also taking care of my own emotional needs? Stuck in the closet. Okay. I'm not going to even pretend I know what it's like to be in that situation. I can say I understand how it would be to not be able to talk about my relationship with people. That's a thing. I understand that. But to be in that situation where this is the family trauma we're talking about. So they haven't come out to their family to tell them that they're gay, and that's a hard thing. And that they're in a relationship with someone of the same sex. Your feelings are valid. They are valid because you want to brag about who you're with. I mean, how would I act? How would I be if I couldn't tell people how amazing my wife is? That's really what you're saying. And you want to be able to do that. Now, on the other side, it is their decision. It is their They feel for some reason they feel like they're stuck where they are, and they don't know how to move from there. I get it. I understand that. The only thing that you need to be doing is you need to be there to support your partner. That's what I'm going to say. Just like in a normal heterosexual relationship, you got to be there to support your partner. That's what this is about. This is about support. And I hate to say this is not about you. It's not. The part that you need validated is the fact that you want to be able to brag about your relationship, and that is valid. But your partners feel stuck because of obviously some family issues when it comes to being where you are. I don't know if I'm the right person to even answer this question, to be honest. Only thing I can really think of is you just got to support them. You need to support them 100%. And honestly, you could make such little slight nudges for them to be able to tell their family. But honestly, it may not come when you want it to be. It may not happen when you want it to be. And if you can't handle that, then you got some working to do. And I know, again, your feelings are valid because you want to brag on the person that you love, but you can't. I will say it's slightly muted because of the reasons. Now, on the other side, their family probably already knows. Unless you guys are so good at keeping things quiet. I mean, they may not know that you're in a relationship, but they probably know that their child or sibling is in the closet right now, and that is gay. They probably already know. You know that I don't think we give our families much credit. And here's the thing: they could freak out. It is true; they could freak out, and that would be sucky. And there could be words that could, but the reality is, you think about how it was for you, and whether it was hard or easy. Think about the emotions that you went through. That's the only thing you have in common when it comes to this. And you just need to be there for their support for them. You need to talk to them. Need to let them know that you care about them, and know whatever their decision is, it will be okay. Even though it's going to be hard for you. And you can tell them that you want to be bragging on them, because this is what this is about. You want to show them off. That's what you do. You want to say, hey, look what I have. Because that's what we do. When we have something that's amazing, we all want to show off what we have, and we want to show everyone how amazing that it really is. It'll be okay. But again, you just need to be there and support your partner. Be there for them. Tell them how you feel. If you don't tell them how you feel, then they'll never know. And if they never know, then you're stuck where you are anyway. I'm sorry. That's all I got. That's a hard one. But honestly, I'll tell you right now, I truly appreciate you willing and trusting me with that to tell me that. You're telling this guy, that's a 46-year-old man who's married to a woman, about your concern and what you're going through in your relationship. Honestly, makes me want to cry that people trust me that much. Although you didn't say your name, which is fine. I don't need to know your name, and that's okay. But the fact that you're willing to tell me and have me discuss this in a public forum like this, in public, that is awesome. So again, I'll say it. Thank you for the trust. Thank you for being there, and thank you for trusting me to at least somewhat trying to entertain some type of a rational thought to even try to figure out how to even navigate that. I mean, I do my best, but it'll be okay. You need to trust that whole process. You've been through it once. You know what it's like. Trust it, and it'll be okay. Hey, bud.
Yo.
You're back?
And your daughter.
What?
And your daughter's here too.
Oh, Paris. Oh, Elizabeth. She's back again?
Love you, Dad.
Oh, you do?
Again.
Huh?
I'm not leaving again.
You're not doing 160 miles an hour right now?
I like feeling invincible now.
I hear you. I hear you.
So fucked, bro. Sorry, didn't mean to call you that.
You have some advice, but I would have advice, but I would not be good about that stuff. I understand, River. I mean, really, honestly, that's a hard situation. I've never been in that position before. I wouldn't even know how to react. I just hope that if, say, one of my kids was to come out for whatever reason, that I would be willing to understand. Wow, my children using the water. It's always noisy, always noisy. I would just hope that they would just trust me, and I'd hope that I would be able to react with love and trust. No, and then I don't either. But the thing is no matter what the situation is, this is one thing I do know. No matter what people, who they are, how they act, whatever. Bottom line is, everyone just wants to feel loved. Everybody. Doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, what your background is. Everyone just wants to feel loved, and that's the bottom line. And that's I think that's one reason we have such polarizing issues going on in our public politics, and I know that's why politicians actually use those things against us, because they know that we typically use emotion, and we attach emotion to if they can attach emotion to something that they want done, then they know that they can get that thing done, and so they typically use those things against us to get what the political movement wants to be. And that's one reason why we need to separate the emotional side when it comes to politics and work and business and a lot of things. We need to separate the emotion from the actual problem. Because once you separate those two things out and you start thinking about things on the logical side at first, although the emotions will always be there, if you can separate those, take the logic and take the subject at hand as they are, then we can know how to make it better. We can know how to fix it. We know how to not, even if it doesn't need to be fixed, we know how to deal with the situation. And then we can let the emotions come back in and how we feel. And we can validate those things, but we also need to be able to take those same validations and say, we can validate my emotion on this, whether it's right or wrong, it's still how I feel. We can't change that fact. But what we can do with more knowledge and more understanding, then we can understand how those emotions can change in one way or the other. The complexities of life. This is why a book on women would be like about 700 volumes of like 10,000 pages, versus men, it'd be only 3 things in a book about men. Yeah. But no, it's pretty cool. Anyway. Hey, Devin. I've been single for a while, and my friends keep telling me I'm too picky when it comes to dating. I have standards, sure, but it doesn't mean I should settle, right? The thing is, now I'm wondering if they're right, and I'm sabotaging myself by waiting for the perfect person. How do I know if I'm being reasonable or if I'm setting the bar too high? Here's the thing. Know your worth. I think I've said that before, right? Have I said that before? Bottom line is this. As River said, know your worth. It's correct. Pretty sure I've said that. You got a standard. And when it comes to your standards, can some standards be high? Well, you got wise parents too. So there you go. You've heard it from your parents. There you go. When it comes to the standards, our standards are set based off of what we know, that we've seen, that we can follow along with. And if you feel like your standards are too high, honestly, they may not be high enough. So if your friends feel like you're being too picky, evaluate what they're saying, because they could be correct, but because everything's situational. there is no such thing as the perfect person. There is the perfect person for you, but they're not going to be perfect. And now, let me clarify that by saying the perfect person will raise to the bar of your standard. River says God will put the right one in your life. You just need to wait. I mean, there's no point in rushing into anything. When it comes to a relationship, you should never rush. And as hard as that may seem, but also you also need to know if your standard is here, the person that you're dating needs to be able to come up to that standard and live that standard. Because if your standard, if you don't want to be dating someone that's going to make you lower, that's why the saying of you should always marry up. You should 100% always marry up. You need to marry someone that's going to make you better, and you're going to make them better in return. Relationships are like farts. If you have to force it, it's probably going to be shit. The amazing words of Master River. Does not mean it's not wrong. So, sorry. That kind of took me off guard there for a second. But, the thing is, you set the standard. You know what's right for you. The right person will come along. You just need to, honestly, it may take some time. And think about your friends. Think about some of the decisions that they've made. They probably have made some really stupid decisions. So why would you want to force that and live that off? Nothing wrong with being picky, Joe says. You will know the right person. It just feels right. The moment I saw my wife, I knew she was the right girl I was going to spend the rest of my life with. You probably chased her a long time until she caught you. That's what I remember my dad was saying that growing up with. He's like, a guy chases a girl until she catches him. Now, if you think about that for a minute, you're like, oh, I get that. I mean, that's true. The thing is, you just have to, honestly, there's nothing wrong with waiting. And there is no particular proper age to get married. Yeah, maybe. There is no proper age to get married. I know people that have been married. Well, my dad was 19 and my mom was 16 when they got married. They were very young and they were married for 65 years. That's epic. My mom passed. Well, I think they were within a few days, if I remember right. My mom passed. They were a few days away from their 65th anniversary. That's epic. They knew it was the right time. Joe knew when it was the right time. He knew that it was the right person. Same with me. You ask anybody when they when they find that the right person they married, they knew it was right, and you'll know it too. So don't worry about it. That is a goal. It is a goal. My goal is to make it to 65 years with my wife, and then beyond. My parents set the standard, and now I gotta at least achieve that goal and then surpass it. All right, I got one more in me. Let's see if I can find a decent one for the last one. This may be a good one. Hey, Devin. I've been really into fitness lately, and I'm proud of my progress. The problem is, my friends have started making comments about how I'm too obsessed with the gym, and I can tell they're feeling insecure. I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable, but I also don't want to apologize for being healthy. How do I keep pursuing my goals without alienating my friends? You don't. Here's the thing. The goal to be healthy and the goal to go to the gym and the goal to eat right will make people turned off. It's kind of like people. So growing up, I always had a pager. I was that kid who had, dating myself. I had a pager. My friends would never invite me to go out on the nights that they would go drinking until It was late at night, and my pager would go off, and I would never let them down. I would go pick them up, and I would take them home. That's the only time that they wanted to hang out with me. Now, not the only time. That was the only time, though, and on those nights that they wanted to hang out with me, because they trusted me enough to get them home. Okay? As goes with when it comes to people who are trying to make their lives better. If they're making fun of you and they feel uncomfortable because you are, and they're saying you're obsessed with getting healthy, honestly, it's because they feel insecure in themselves, and they don't want to. They're not willing to make those changes. Screw them, they're losers, River says. A real friend would be like, bro, you're fat, or bro, you're weak, and motivate them to work harder. If they don't see the goal and they don't see the real contributions, they're good, and don't see your real contributions, they're good bros. Oh, they're not good bros. Got it. The thing, and he's not wrong. The reality is, they have some insecurities. That's why they're kind of backing off and saying you're obsessed. But the reality is, you need to do what's right because your health means more than anything else. I'm currently in my own little health challenge for myself, and because I know, for one, I've had high blood pressure for years, and I'm slowly, basically, essentially, be able to eliminate it. I still take a blood pressure medicine, but my goal is to be within the next year to be completely off of it. Now, for that to happen, I have to make some changes. And now that I'm back from filming my TV show, the changes that I've made are back in swing, because I did it before, but while on the TV show, it was impossible to eat like I want to eat. But now that I'm eating like I know I should be eating, I've got to up my exercise game, and I need to get into it. Now, will that make people uncomfortable? Sure. But who cares? As River says, screw them, they're losers. Now, you may not want to say that to your friends because you feel like they're not losers. They are your friends. But no matter what, don't let them downgrade you in doing something amazing. You're doing something awesome that's going to help you in your life now and help you in your life to come. Because if you prioritize your health, you will be around far longer than they will ever be. You will feel so much better than they ever feel. If you prioritize your health over anything else, other than, like I say, your kids or whatever. I mean, you need to be the parent that needs to be healthy, but also take care of your kids. But you're not in that boat right now. Or prioritize your health. Make it a reality. Heart disease will get the best of them. You're not wrong, River. You're not wrong. So I say pursue your dream. If they come along with you, amazing. If they don't and they separate themselves from you, as River said, they're not your real friends. Move on. And that's a sad reality, but that is a reality. So anyway, that is my 2 cents for the night. I am going to get off here and, I got some back end editing to do to make things happen and make things function. So I'm going to take care of that. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening, and thank you guys for commenting and being on the live. I appreciate it, and I'll talk to you guys later.